Arsenal making moves. Obviously, trophyless season for Arsenal again. Arteta under
4th consecutive season.
Man don't need to know that, innit? Man just need to focus on.
Maybe 5th.
Man just need
I don't know. 5th consecutive.
Man just need to focus on. It was a trophyless season. Arteta's under pressure, and him and Berta are going big, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? 60 mil spent. Zubimendi. We've got the here we go by hold on by Fabrizio Romano. Now we're hearing 80 million euro potentially on Viktor Gyökeres. Obviously, certain man are residential haters and they're going to hate on everything and say it's not a good signing and whatever. But Arsenal moving serious. And the first thing we have to say, just to be positive one little bit, the first thing we have to say, and you have to agree with this type of movement this early in the transfer window is very un-Arsenal-like. It's very, bro, we don't move like this early.
Yeah, but I don't mean nothing. Because the truth be, what it looks like, it looks like when Ten Hag signed all of them man from the Dutch league.
Nothing that we do, that we do looks like anything that Ten Hag does.
No, let me tell you why. Because you know, just pretty much signed every person from flipping Real Sociedad. You just signed Marino, signed Zubimendi, you signed the flipping Martin Odegaard. I'm like, bro, you might as literally.
If it gets us Isak, then we can continue. I'm happy with that. Do you know what I'm saying? If it gets us Isak, then let's do it.
You know my biggest concern with this with the Zubimendi deal?
Go on.
The fact that you in the last 3 seasons, or maybe even 5 seasons, in the last 5 seasons, your marquee signing has been a centre midfielder, and you still ain't got it right. You signed Partey.
I've got it right.
You signed Rice. Well, if you got it right, why are we?
Declan Rice has been fantastic for 2 years.
He's your best player.
Yeah.
But my point is, if he's that good and if your midfield is so balanced, why are we signing another one?
I can answer that.
Go on.
Jorginho is leaving on the free at the end of the season.
Jorginho's not even a person who starts in your team.
So I think Partey will drop down. Partey has been very good this season, but he's got an awful defensive record and he's aging. For me, Partey would drop down to the Jorginho role and we would start with Zubimendi, Rice and Partey would come on.
So where does Marino fit in this? Because you lot just signed him for 50 million in the transfer.
Marino is firmly on the bench. That signing's
where does Havertz fit in? Because Havertz was signed as a midfielder as well.
The thing is, I'll be honest with you, I could answer all of these questions into all the different things that we could do. James B's got a video on Gooniverse of how the midfield. I'm answering.
I don't ask you. Don't need to plug another channel.
I'm answering.
I don't need you to plug another.
Maybe he's paying me. You don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't know. So, but. James B, he does Gooniverse, we do Tactical Insight, so do you know what I'm saying? That's my brethren still. But he's got a video on his channel breaking down how all the different amazing, beautiful ways the midfield can line up and different tactics and strategy. I'm in our business. I just want to win trophies, innit? So I don't care if Marino's on the bench. I don't care if Havertz on the bench. I can tell you that Marino is going to be a backup for Rice in the 8 position. I can tell you that Havertz is going to be a backup for Odegaard in the 10 position. I can tell you that Havertz is going to be a backup for Gyokeres on the... No, you're not, because you asked me a question. I can tell you that he could be backup for Gyokeres at the 9. I can tell you we might be tactically flexible and go 4-4-2 and we'll have to talk and I can give you this stuff. Man, don't care. If it just gets me... I don't care who rots on the bench. I don't care how many minutes man get. I don't care about that. If we can win a trophy and it looks like we're bringing in the right players to win trophies, then I don't care about all the rest of it.
Can I get to speak? Because I'm starting to see a very common thing with Arsenal and United. Common. Let me tell you how. I know bad business when I've seen bad business. Arsenal, since Arteta's come, every season he's made sure he bought a left back, which tells me that you didn't get it right the first time. And you just keep bringing in players to correct your mistakes. Since he's come in, he's brought in about 4 left backs word to Yardman. He's brought in 2 separate goalkeepers. He's brought in 1 bag of separate midfielders individual every season. And it's like when United just bought a striker and another striker and another striker to fix the problem that we created in the first place. Let's keep it real, bro. Most of the signings that Mikel Arteta has signed, not most, but half of his signings have been crap. And I have no confidence in Mikel Arteta signing the right signings if he's already bringing in someone to fix a problem that he thought he fixed when he brought in Marino. If 6 months ago you brought in Marino and then you went back to the same club to fix the same position, for me, I'm kind of concerned right now.
It's not the same position.
They're both playing centre mid.
It's not the same position.
What formation do you play?
4-3-3.
you play 4-3-3.
Yep.
And you play.
We play a 6, 8, and a 10.
You play 6, 8, and a 10. Maybe 4-2-3-1. In theory, because you play a 10. But you.
Well, however you want to say it. However you want to say it.
You 4-3-3, cool. You play a
Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri are not the same player.
No, they're not. But Partey, you're saying Partey and Zubimendi is.
Yes.
Jorginho and Zubimendi is.
Yes, Jorginho is leaving. So we need 2 sixes.
And Moreno were supposed to be roughly the same thing, no?
I agree.
And then did you not see my point?
I think no, I don't. Havertz.
The fact that he's buying players to fix a mistake that he made in the first place.
The biggest mistake he's made signing wise, the biggest is Havertz. I'm not saying he hasn't made other mistakes.
What about Zinchenko? He signed Zinchenko. I don't think Zinchenko. And then he decided to buy another left back the season after that. Another left back the season after that.
I think that they're 2 different things. When we bought Zinchenko, he was a good left back for the time that we bought him, but the style of football that we play now, he's not able to play. The team has moved beyond Zinchenko, and that happens.
You bought another left back.
Who's the other left back? He didn't buy another left back straight away. Zinchenko was in the team for a couple of years.
He bought Zinchenko.
He bought Calafiori. The next left back he's bought is Calafiori.
No, but when he stopped playing my man at left back, he was playing Timber left back at times as well.
Yeah, because Ben White was fully fit.
So he bought Timber.
Yeah.
To play and played him left back.
But he wasn't a left back.
But he played him left back.
He did.
And then he also, at this time, Ben White was fit. He also had Tomiyasu, who he also bought as well.
Yeah.
And he played Tomiyasu both left back and right back.
Very rarely did he play.
Mainly right back.
Yeah.
Mainly right back, but he bought Ben White, no, didn't he?
He did.
And so my point is...
He's building a squad.
No, my point... No. It's not if you're buying someone. If you're buying someone...
Also, all of this is irrelevant because... The difference is, at that time, again, I've said this on the show before, man want to always attack Arteta. We don't know how many of those signings are down to... He said it
I
don't care what he said. But the managers say things all the time, as it could be PR spin, it could be... It could be, we're judging on trophies, we're judging on what he says. Cool. Okay, cool. So what if... Okay, all right, fair enough. Now we've got Berta, we've got a much more experienced director of football. So we've got someone there who is experienced in buying and identifying the right profile of player, which is something that I wasn't keen on Arteta having the final say on players because he's not experienced. We had an inexperienced director of football and an inexperienced manager.
Who historically got most of his signings wrong.
Who? The director of football?
Arteta.
The director,
one of the two.
Definitely the director of football. Because the reason I say definitely the director of football is because the director of football was also there. The same director of football was there before Arteta was even there, and the recruitment was poor before. So already, do you know what I'm saying? And Arteta signings have definitely been hit and miss, but we can use the eye test. When we signed Marino, most Arsenal fans were not happy with that signing. When we signed Havertz, most Arsenal fans were not happy with that signing.
I think Zubimendi.
Hold on a second.
Marino though.
Maybe he's going to be. Do you know what I mean? Maybe he's going to be, but he's there to like I say, we have a 6 leaving. And the other 6 that we've got is getting older and not fit and reliable. So the striker position is the most urgent position for Arsenal, in my opinion. But
he went and gambled and got Gyokeres.
But then we could talk about that. But the 6th position is a position that's going to be a problem that would have been an emerging problem soon. It wasn't urgent, but that's what he's done. He's plugged the 6th problem with someone who
we don't know.
We don't know. We don't know. But I think that he is similar. Certainly a similar profile to Partey, but younger, fitter, more legs.
Outside of Timber, this is the only outside of Timber.
Yep.
Every time, and even sometimes
you're going to say he's bought in a player that's not from the Premier League.
Outside of Timber, everybody's bought someone outside of the Premier League. They flopped, in my opinion, every single time. What player banged that he bought outside of the Premier League?
Martin Odegaard.
You don't want him out, bro. Some people don't even want him as a captain. Man want him dropped as captain, bro.
I would want him dropped as captain, but that doesn't mean that he didn't bang. He's been here for 3 years and he's been off form for the last few months, which by the way is when he's come back from injury. He got a 3-month injury earlier on in the season. So since he's come back from since it's this season,
there's been a heavy criticism on Martin Odegaard.
100%, but he's been here for 3 years, and for the last 2 years he's been good. He was the top scorer in midfielder last season. Mm-hmm. So we can't. You're
not looking to replace him straight away.
He was out for 3 months this season. He's not fully recovered from his injury. So that's what it is. That's what it is. So yes, there is a school of thought that he needs to focus on his own performances rather than focusing on being the captain. But that's not an indictment of his performance. You do very oversimplified analysis. Then we've got Gyokeres, who again is a gamble. We don't know.
Much so.
It's a lot of money, but he is one of the top strikers in terms of numbers. He's one of the top strikers in Europe.
In what, a crap league?
100%.
This is one
the same league Ronaldo came from.
This is the reason. One of the reasons.
The same league Ronaldo came from.
This is the reason why I didn't want Gyokeres.
The same league Ronaldo came from.
Facts.
Who would you want as a striker?
If I was Arsenal.
No. If you were you.
If I'm United.
Yeah.
To be fair, I can't trust anybody United sign. Because
I'm not asking. No. No, you can't, because that's not the question I asked you. Who do you? What you? Shane?
I'm going to answer that. Give me chance to land my point.
Give me chance. Not even give me
a chance to land my
blood
point.
fire.
The truth
I'm here with Dillian White.
The last 3 seasons or 4 seasons, going back to Ronaldo, we've panic buyed strikers. We've panic bought strikers, bro. Mm-hmm. Like whether it was flipping Xerxes, Ronaldo, Højlund, we just panic buy strikers. You know what I'm saying? Like we've never bought someone with a clear identity and philosophy of how we want to play football.
Okay.
So for me, when you ask me what striker I want, I genuinely don't know what style of football Amorim's looking to play. If you're asking me based on what I've seen this season, I actually wouldn't mind someone like Cunha. I actually wouldn't mind him. Mm-hmm. Because what it looks like he's trying to play is someone who can pretty much play along the front three. Like I've even seen at times Bruno play up front. I've seen Kobe Mainoo play up front. I've seen him literally, and obviously when he plays Xerxes up front, he uses Xerxes to link up play. He doesn't actually play. But when he was at Sporting, he had a man that was running in behind the channels in Gyokeres. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, I don't know what he's looking to do because it's difficult to say. But apparently we're being linked to Cunha, but he's a Premier League player. So I can at least say this is what we're going to get from him in the Premier League. Yeah. For the most part, when we've signed signings in the last few years, they haven't been Premier League proven. And they've almost, like, I think about some of the players that's flopped for us, and it's like, we've almost gambled as well. We're doing what you lot are doing. And I feel like this season, I agree with you, Nick. I agree this is the season for Arteta to win something. And I feel like if your marquee signing has to be a striker, if I'm Arsenal, I'm going out all out to get me a person that I know, not an uncertainty that I know is going to bang for me. And for me, if it's 140 million for Isak, I'm paying the 140 million for Isak.
If the thing is, I agree with you in sentiment, but the reality is, if Newcastle are in the Champions League, they don't need to sell, and Isak is not going to leave. So it's not just a question of we could put down 200 million, 300 million, he might not leave. And then regardless of how good he is, you over leverage yourself. You put that kind of money on a player, he breaks his leg or gets injured. That's just what I'm saying. The money we have to spend, the reality is, it's not my money, so I don't care. But the fact of the matter is, the money we have to spend is finite. It's not an infinite amount of money.
The money, if you combine the two wages, the two figures,
signings, yeah,
two signings, I would have just put all of that on Isak. Because let me tell you one thing, I guarantee you, and this is something I can guarantee,
even if it meant not signing anyone else.
Yeah, let me land.
Okay.
If you bought Zupimendi and Gyokeres, and they will stay fit for the whole season, or you bought Isak, just Isak, for the whole season, I guarantee you'll finish higher with Isak than Gyokeres and Zupimendi, in my opinion, based on what I've seen from Arsenal. Also, I don't even think Gyokeres fits Arsenal's style of play.
I don't think we can say that, because what we've seen with Arteta is that he adjusts the style of play to bring in new signings. So what we're seeing right now,
I don't know about that. Not offensively.
We haven't bought in any strikers. He's bought in one striker.
We bought in Havertz and played him as a striker.
But he didn't bring in a striker.
Trossard's a striker.
No, he's not. He's a winger.
But okay, he plays Trossard up front though.
When all of our attacking options are injured, as a last resort. But that's obviously not part of his plan. That's obviously not part of his plan.
Maybe there's a reason why he's not bringing in a striker. Maybe there's a reason.
What reason are you positing that might be?
I don't know, but maybe there is a reason why he personally has decided to consciously not bring in a striker.
And maybe
every Arsenal fan knew that they needed one.
And maybe that was because he couldn't find the right profile of striker until he's found Gyokeres.
How can you say that when last season you lot could have went and made an effort to get Ollie Watkins or Ivan Toney and you didn't?
What's that got to do with us signing Gyokeres now?
I'm saying He's signing Gyokeres because now he has to. He literally gonna lose his job, bro. If he doesn't sign a striker, bro. If he doesn't sign a striker, he obviously know his philosophy hasn't worked. He was stubborn enough to not sign a striker last season, even when every Arsenal fan knew he needed one. In the January transfer window was the same thing.
I think that's down to the board and finances. I think that he's still. I know he's going to come out. I know he's going to come out.
One bag of players in the last 2 seasons, bro.
Last summer we didn't sign anyone.
The last 2 seasons, and you signed Marino in January. So you could have at least made an effort to sign a striker.
I think we did. We looked at a striker, but it was too late. I think we looked at either John Duran or Ollie Watkins, but it was too late.
From the first day of the transfer window that you needed a striker.
Yeah.
In January.
Yeah.
And my point is very straightforward though, and I don't even know why we're having this debate. Gyokeres is a gamble, and every
signing is a gamble.
And it's true, but it's a big gamble. The biggest problem this season has been breaking down low blocks. Mm-hmm. I feel like
I don't think that's our biggest problem. It's one of our problems, not our biggest problem.
What's your biggest problem attacking this season?
We don't score enough goals.
Most of the time when breaking down low blocks.
That's potentially part of it, but we lack goals from our midfield. Ødegaard hasn't been firing. Like I say, last season Ødegaard scored 15, 16 goals, the top goal scorer in midfielder.
Even last season you struggled to break down low blocks. The first season when you finished second, you broke down low blocks as well. But even last season you struggled to break down low blocks. This season you struggled to break down low blocks. Gyokeres to me isn't a low block type of player. Not when he plays for Sporting, because most of the time it's low percentage. Most of the time it's low percentage when you play without the ball and catch man on the counter attack.
I think that, but like I say, I think the way that we play, we're going to have more of a target man. We're going to have someone that occupies space. We're going to have someone that's more of a physical presence. We've lost our ability to score from set pieces a little bit with no Gabriel, no Havertz, etc. He will be back in there again. People will laugh about set piece FC, but again, it's another big, it's another big body. When we set up from a corner with our best team, let's say we've got Zubimendi at the 6 and Rice at the 8. That means you've got a box of Gyokeres, Rice, Gabriel, Saliba, possibly Ben White, a lot of different things. He opens up a lot of different options for us to play differently. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's really positive. We're getting someone in who is coming in. People look at, say, Darwin Núñez is the one that people look at and say, well, Darwin Núñez came from Portugal. He was badding it up there. Now he looks shit. But Darwin Núñez is completely devoid of confidence. I don't actually think Darwin Núñez is a bad player. He may leave Liverpool and go and start banging in goals again. But if we could get Darwin Núñez when he was confident, at his peak confidence, he can be a nightmare of a player to play against. Do you know what I mean? And if we get Gyokeres and he's on that confident run, he hasn't played in the Prem, but he has played in England, so he's familiar with the physical side of football.
He's a physical player.
The Championship's a very difficult league to bang in.
I just feel like what we're in right now as an Arsenal fan, you're in such a delicate position. And for me, the fact that you've literally just gone Gyokeres straight away, you haven't even tried to, because for me, there's not a lot of strikers around anyway.
What Prem proven strikers are there that we could go for, other than Isak, who Newcastle are not going to sell?
Sorry?
What Prem proven strikers are there that we could go for other than Isak, who Newcastle are not going to sell?
It's tough because right now there isn't a lot of strikers, period. But I'm not saying...
Even if you want to say that Arsenal made a mistake in missing the window when Ollie Watkins, who looks to be slowing down a little bit in my opinion, Ivan Toney, now he's gone to Saudi.
Facts.
Potentially that's true, but as it stands today, the signing of Viktor Gyökeres for Arsenal is a positive. I think that at our best, especially if we get a creative left winger, sounds like we're looking at a winger. We're also looking at another attacking midfielder. So let me
ask you a question.
Let me finish.
You didn't ask me a question and you didn't let me answer.
I didn't. What question did I ask you?
You asked me what striker could you
Then you said it was tough, and I thought, okay, cool. I'll take the answer. I agree, it's tough, and then we're moving on. So, but for me, at our best, our striker does not need to be. At our best, we have goals distributed around the team.
You just said you don't. You just said you don't.
At our best, we haven't been at our best this season. At our best, we do have goals distributed around the team when we're playing at our best. We don't need a striker to come in and be a Haaland and score 30 goals. We have a good amount of goals, I believe, distributed around the team, especially if we go and get another attacking left winger.
I'll ask you this question.
Go on.
You said you have to win a trophy this season.
Yes.
Does the signing of Gyokeres win you a trophy this season?
Win us a trophy? I think almost certainly, even if it's a League Cup or an FA Cup. It might not be one of the big trophies, but...
So the signing of Gyokeres specifically wins you a trophy this season?
I would say so. If we played exactly the same season again, But with
I
with
disagree.
Viktor Gyökeres, that's what I believe.
disagree.
I believe that if Gyökeres is able to chip in this season, all right, let's say let's say Jesus was out for the whole season. Let's say Jesus was out, Gyökeres is in. Even if he scores 15 to 20 goals across all comps, that wins us a trophy, I believe.
I don't think so because if you look at your attackers this season, Havertz and Moreno, who's played up front for the most part, how much goals he got between them? It's about 15 goals between them.
Which is not bad, given that neither of them are strikers.
And you didn't win a trophy.
Neither of them are strikers.
But you didn't win a trophy. So you're saying if you get 15 goals from a striker, you will win a trophy. But you got 15 goals from two players who played up front and they didn't get.
But neither of them are strikers. If they can score 15, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe then what I'm noticing from what you're saying is that the number that I picked is too low. But if he can score those same goals that they scored plus 10 more because he's a better striker than they are, and that's his dedicated position, then I think that
so
gets us a trophy.
No chance to acclimatise to the league. It's just straight bang.
But he's got to know that that's what it is. If right now, if you're Viktor Gyökeres, the only clubs that want you want big wages, you want to go to a top team, you're leaving sport and you're one of the hot striking prospects. Any club you go to, they're going to want you to perform right now. Whether you go to Bayern, whether you go to Liverpool, going to Arsenal is no different to that. Do you know what I mean? The only difference is with Liverpool is that they have a shit ton of attackers. So if Nunes flops, then they've got other attackers to cover. They've got Gakpo. They've got a front six. They've got 6 attackers. They can take off their whole front three. They've done it in this season. They've taken off their whole front three and replaced them with a whole other front three.
You know the biggest thing for me, yeah,
especially if we get a Rodrigo or a Nico Williams or someone like that. Rodrigo's leaving Real Madrid to Arsenal, looking at him. But especially if we get a good left winger as well.
I don't understand how Arsenal go from finances being an issue to signing potentially Rodrigo, Gyokeres and Zupimendi in one transfer window.
Why?
You just said
we had a net spend of 17 million last.
You said
last
finances
summer.
Was a problem.
Yeah.
And you've just signed Moreno for 40-something million in January.
Yep.
You signed Zupimendi for how much? 60. Gyokeres is 80, right?
Yeah, I think that's in euros though. So about 60 million pounds.
60 million pound. I think it's more.
Maybe about 100 to 110 million pound between the two of them, roughly.
And then Rodrigo's going to be pushing 70, 78.
I'm not sure of his contract situation. I'm not sure. I need to double check. I think he might be in the last year of his contract.
But Rodrigo plays right wing, not left wing.
He's a left winger. He's been forced to the right wing to accommodate other players, but his natural position is left wing.
Where he plays for Real Madrid is right wing.
His natural position is left wing.
When was the last time he played left wing?
I don't watch Real Madrid enough to know, but
he don't play it for Real Madrid.
It don't matter to me. I think if it's Raheem Sterling's played both wings this season,
and
Martinelli's plays both wings this season.
The only successful winger you have in your team is Saka.
I think Sterling looked better when he moved to the left. He was better on the left. He's shit regardless, but he's better on the left. But if you're a top class winger, I don't think it should make a difference. Bukayo Saka came through the ranks at Arsenal as a left winger.
Bukayo Saka's special though, bro.
So's Rodrigo, allegedly. Before we played Real Madrid.
If he was special, Real Madrid wouldn't be getting rid of him. You know that. What special player does Real Madrid get rid of? What special player does Real Madrid get rid of? None. Saka is special, bro. I'll keep it real. So is Rice. Rice is a special player. And that's what I'm saying. And bro, you could be so right and I could have egg on my face. But when I'm being so honest and no bants aside, I don't think when I look at Gyokeres, I don't think he's the caliber of Rice or Saka. I don't think so. I just feel like he had a bad boy season at Sporting, a bad boy last 2 seasons at Sporting. He's coming to the Premier League in the first season. He has to win you the league. He's gonna score a bag of goals because Saka. If
he scores a bag of goals, we win a trophy.
I genuinely don't think so.
You think that he could score 25, 30 goals all comps?
I don't think he scores 25. I think
you said a bag of goals. How much is a bag of goals for a striker?
17, 18 goals
in all comps.
Prem.
Okay.
17 goals.
But all comps though. All comps. All comps. But I'm saying all comps though.
No,
30 goals all comps.
Because all comps, the reason why it doesn't make a difference, because next season you're not going to win champs. Like can't see how you win champs. Real Madrid can't be as bad. City can't be as bad.
You got FA Cup. You got Carabao Cup.
Boy, that's what I can't bid on saying Arsenal are signing a 70 million
also,
pound
you
player
say
to win Carabao Cup.
You say City are going to be back. City's recruitment's been terrible.
But City got Pep, bro. It doesn't make a difference.
The
City
Pep,
got Pep.
there are Man City fans that are saying to me they don't trust Pep with the signings he's been making over the last couple of summers.
Next season, they're gonna get back the best player in the Prem, and that's Rodri. So it doesn't make a difference, bro.
We'll see if he's the same Rodri.
You're damn right.
We'll see if he's the same Rodri.
There's more of a question mark on Gyokeres than there is on Rodri.
Of course, because Rodri's already been there and done it, so it is what it is.
And for me, I don't know, bro. I don't know, man.
We'll see.
Maybe Gyokeres might be the one, but I don't see it.
I just feel like maybe I understand what you're saying, but I feel like we do a lot of waiting around for things. One of the things I don't like about Arteta and Arsenal is they do a lot of waiting around for things to be perfect.
But Tony was perfect, though. Tony was perfect. Other than the gambling.
I disagree that Tony was perfect. But that's we're going back because there's 2 years ago. It's a different conversation. I want to move on because we've been 25 minutes on this topic.